then your throttle controls when you're in field are right here. So you have inching. Okay. That is not used in this.
It just isn't used?
Yeah, that
would have been nicer, I think.
But so you have an inching, and then the center one goes idle to full throttle.
Okay.
So, which is nice they did that. They used to all be through the screen to do the throttle. That was kind of dope. I mean, it wasn't super handy.
Okay, so here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for. Some aerial views of this Krone Big M. As you can see, there's no lush green grass, but a snow-covered field that we have to demonstrate this machine in, which is good for Krone because I'm not going to get it dirty, other than the tires. But anyway, wanted to take the machine out and take it for some exercise, and this video is going to be kind of chopped up a little bit, so just bear with me. It all coincides with what is being said within the cab.
So, yeah, if you want to push the 1-2 button.
Okay, we're going to push the 1-2 button.
And push and hold that, and then push down on your
this guy here and this guy here.
Well,
it's the upper one, yeah. Yep. There's a detent on that thing.
Yes. Because you'll use that when you're in the field. So when you're mowing, this is what you'll use generally. So mower's down.
Okay, so I pull up to the field here, and inside the cab he is showing me and telling me how to unfold it, and what its characteristics are going to be as, you know, how the machine is going to work. So you see me drop the machine down, or the mowers down, and they really are timed. So when you push that button, the front one obviously comes up first, and then there, according to the speed that I'm going, will dictate to when the rear mowers come up. So I think he explains that in this next section, but yeah.
You can make that time, or you can make that by distance. Generally, time is what guys use it. So when you watch, you'll see when you pick that front mower, the front mower will kick up kind of quick, and then the wings will come, and then it'll lift the rest of the way.
Okay, so they moved the drone a bit closer, and you can see what Brandon was talking about is the front kicking up, and then the rest coming up with it.
I see.
So as you're coming out, you'd hit up.
And you can do it this way too.
You can do it individually, yeah. So where you use the individual more is like if you're coming in at an angle and you're coming out and coming back in, or you want this one to drop in before that.
Alrighty then. So he's explaining the operation and functions of this machine as I'm sitting there while Nate and Neil are filming. Honestly, the operation of the machine is quite simple. The joystick is a little bit confusing at first, but it does seem to make sense. As Brandon was saying, that the older joysticks were the Fendt joysticks, and they weren't meant for this machine. But Krone has come up with their own version of this now, and it just seems comfortable. A little bit of redundancy, like the John Deere, but I think they're all that way because they're producing the same handle for different machines. So the Big X, the Big M, the whatever else they produce that needs a joystick shares that joystick, and some of the functions that are on the handle are not meant for this machine. But they're ergonomic. They feel right. There's operations that you don't want to do by accident, therefore you need two hands to do them, so that you can't screw up and cause some form of catastrophic failure, which is very good, because we all do things like, in the case mower one time, I hit the park button while going about 10 miles per hour, and I stood that case mower up on its nose, because it just locked those front wheels, skidded them until it caught enough traction and sent the mower forward. You can't do that with this machine. The wings out to your side, I thought were going to be really awkward. Like, holy shit, I'm 30 feet wide, and I don't know how I'm going to control this thing if I get into a situation where I'm, into a situation that could be potentially bad. But the machine is designed that it really isn't uncomfortable to run the machine. So you're 30 feet wide. It's only 15 feet on either side. I felt more comfortable running this machine in, of course, these frozen tundra conditions where we're not actually mowing hay, but we are just kind of doing a mock hay mowing procedure here. And it just seemed natural that the wings fell where we left off. Now, I made a slight right or a slight left, and then I made a right-hand turn so that I would, have enough room to fall back into line. And I didn't need to do that. I could have just got to the end of the windrow, turned to the right, and had plenty of room to drop the mowers to continue down the unmown swath that I would be doing. This mower, obviously, I can't demonstrate it in this type of weather, but you can mow 12 miles an hour or more depending on the heft of the crop or the thickness of the crop. So enjoy this next section.
It seems like it's behind you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not an operator. After running a couple passes,
Yeah.
that's just so in your peripheral vision.
Yeah, I guess it would be.
And you're looking out at your front, and you can see it here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes a little bit to get onto it a little.
Yeah, I just wondered if they had mirrors or something like those mirrors there.
Not really. And we don't generally guys don't ask for cameras on these.
Huh.
The one thing that is a little harder to get used to is your wings are between your wheels, so when you're following a contour or going around a turn is when to turn.
Yeah.
That's a little different than you'd be used to with other equipment, but it's just one of them learning curves of the machine.
And then when you get to the end, and you just want to pull that thing up in it. It does turn pretty reasonable, though.
Yeah, I mean you can with one headland easily get around. Usually guys do two, give themselves plenty of room.
Yeah, that's what I was
If you were tight, you could do one. If you did so desire. You have to slow down more and make the turn tight and not paw. You know? So two headlands gives you enough room that you can turn, not paw, and come back in pretty easily.
Yeah, it's not really, you don't, it's a big machine, but it doesn't feel like it's really big.
No, yeah, it's...
I mean, it really doesn't. If you look behind you, obviously it's going to feel like it's
yeah,
big.
I mean, there's a lot behind you, but...
Yeah, but it just didn't even seem like it would take much to flip it around unless you don't want to run into a needle. But, I mean, really, I can turn around quicker, really, within that, what is it, 30 feet? Within that 30 feet, you're turned around. Look, I mean, there's where I was.
You can... I run into the... I'm doing the... All right, I'm turning around, and then you come back around, and oh shit, I'm oversteered.
Yeah, and then everything is right here. So you're moving right around like this.
Yeah.
What are we, a 7.5 mile an hour? That's an old man's speed to go.
Yeah, and like I said, I always mowed with a pull type.
Yeah.
And to do 7/8 was really good, generally.
See how it cuts it there.
Yeah, when you're cutting hard.
It does, so it does tear it. Well, you know what? The nice thing is he didn't plant anything here, so we're okay.
Yeah.
It was wet. I'm okay with that then.
But, I mean, I was always used to a pull type 1431 New Holland.
Yeah, I had that oversteer. Yeah, 1431s.
And
pretty good size.
And if you're on a straight, good field straight, you can go as fast as you want, but you might bounce out of the cab.
What is the RPM, the maximum RPM on this thing?
19.
Okay. Not too bad, noise-wise.
Yeah, we can fire up the mowers if you want.
Now, these mowers, do they have to be when you fire them up?
You can't screw up, so...
Really? So if I was to jam these in with this wide open, it'd be alright?
Yep, do it.
So I push that button past the detent?
Told you.
And then pull it back?
Oh. And it should.
And it comes back up.
Told you couldn't screw up.
You can't screw
Alright,
up.
so I'm going to do the pros and cons of a Krone Big M versus the self-propelled windrowers. Self-propelled windrowers, if you buy 2 self-propelled windrowers, you're looking at $340,000 US. One Krone Big M is probably, well, I know it's $337,000. That's what this machine sells for. Pros of this thing is that you can go to the field and run for 8 hours and do probably a little bit more, or a lot more, than what you can do with 2 self-propelled windrowers. Cons to the Krone self-propelled or the Big M. The Krone Big M, if you hit something and break it, you are done for the day, or 2 or 3 until you get parts to fix it. With the self-propelled windrowers, obviously if you hit something with them, they will break, but for the same money you get 2 self-propelleds and you can continue to run with 1. Now, the cons to that is it takes 2 people. People are unreliable. People get sick. People have things that they would much rather be doing, and one guy running one windrower that cuts 30 feet, or one guy running a windrower that cuts 15 feet. Those are the pros in the Big M side. I can go mow hay with this Big M for 2 full days and do probably a third again as much as I would with 2 self-propelleds. 1 engine, 1 problem. Again, the 2 self-propelleds would have 2 separate engines, obviously, and if one goes down, I could still mow. So I'm saying that the Big M would probably be more productive than 2 self-propelleds, but it leaves you with one option when you break down, and that is to go and, I don't know, find something else to do until the parts show up. That was my concern with it. Whereas the 2 self-propelleds, the other guy can go rake hay. He can go stack hay. He can go take a load of hay to the mushroom barn. He could do whatever else needs to be done. He could be tearing apart the part that he broke, and I could still be mowing with one machine. The Big M is built like a tank, and it just, I don't know, I don't think you're going to break it very easily. So I would say I would lean more towards the Big M than 2 self-propelleds, but it is what it is, and that's all it is. Okay, so it's the end of the video, and here's where I say thank you to everyone at Messick's, Krone North America, and Krone Germany. Yes, Krone Germany. I didn't actually meet any of the Germans, but I have to say thank you to them for building such fine pieces of equipment. As you see right here in these pictures, this is my HDP, Big Pack, 1290. High speed. This baler has baled 10,300 bales in the summer, and it worked flawlessly. I had a couple of small issues with it, which were taken care of very quickly by Messick's and Krone. So, if you're looking at buying a Krone baler, go right on ahead. I think you won't be sorry. Parts and service are readily available at your local Krone dealer, and try Messick's if you can't find it anywhere else. Thanks for watching.